everyone, I am Siti HAJAR binti NORARIFFIN and my matric number is 1915560.
Hi, my name is Irdhina SOFIAH binti AHMAD DZAFFRAN and my matric number is 2013752.
Hi, my name is FAQIHAH binti MAJDY and my matric number is 2014468.
Our group has chosen to study on the topic of financial awareness among IIUM students. The reason why we choose this topic is because we believe that financial management is very important for future use. There are many issues and cases that are reported regarding the lack of awareness of financial management among society, especially the students. News have stated that financial literacy among youth is very low and it can cause concerning. Even the Bank Negara Malaysia has stated that 47% of the adolescents are involved in high credit card debt. Isn't this worrying to hear? Adolescents have a very long way to go in life, therefore it's crucial for them to know how to manage their finance and use them wisely. So regarding these issues, we would like to know how IIUM students manage their financial system and spread the awareness on the importance of financial management. In this study, we decided to use direct questionnaires as our method of collecting data. The easiest survey was to use Google Form. We distributed and shared the form through all online platforms we had, such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and Instagram. The reason we only chose to study among IIUM Gombak students is due to lack of time. It is impossible for us to collect the data from all IIUM colleges, which are from Gombak, Pagoh, and Kuantan. Also, we opine that IIUM Gombak is more exposed to money management programs because the Student Society of Finance Department always organize these kinds of programs which are open for all IIUM Gombak students. Stratified sampling method was used because it classifies the respondents into groups according to their gender and courses. That gives us more diversity of respondents that represents the male and female and from different kuliahs. Additionally, we assume that there are differences between the saving and method of spending between male and female students. Female students may have less savings because they spend more money on shopping and skincare, where male students may have more savings because they less spend their money. Moving on to the types of tests that we used, we have applied a few types of tests in our study, such as one sample test, two sample tests, ANOVA, and nominal level hypothesis test. Under ANOVA, we implemented the population variance and population mean, whereas under nominal level hypothesis test, we implemented population proportion, goodness of fit, and contingency table.
Now, let us proceed with the results of findings. For one sample test, we would like to know whether it is reasonable for us to conclude that the mean allowance among IIUM students is less than 300 ringgit. One sample test of hypothesis revealed that, on average, the monthly allowance received by the students is less than 300 ringgit. Therefore, our claim where the mean amount for monthly allowance among IIUM students is less than 300 ringgit has been accepted. This may occur as students do not have any income and they only depend on their parents or scholarship. Only a little amount of them do part-time job like dropship to increase their allowance. That is why the mean allowance among the students is less than 300 ringgit. For the two sample tests, we would like to test the claim where the monthly spending of female students is greater than the male students. So, based on the two sample tests of hypothesis, we found that female students spend more than male. The reason for this has been shown in the bar chart. It indicates that female students not only spend their allowance on the food and beverages, but they also tend to spend on other things compared to male students. And based on our survey, most of the female students spend more on beautification, like skincare products and cosmetics. These items are also pricey, which justify the reason why female students spend more than male students. Now, we move on to ANOVA test. We use ANOVA to test population variance and population mean. We will first look at the population variance. So for this part, we want to test whether there is a difference in the variation of the monthly allowance among female students and male students.
From the ANOVA test, we can conclude that there is no difference in the variation of monthly allowance between female and male students. That is why we reject the hypothesis. The reason for this is basically the same as what I have explained on the monthly allowance of the students in the one sample test.
Then, for population mean, we use ANOVA test to identify whether there is a difference in the mean amount of spending among three categories of sample. The samples are classified based on their preferred type of payment. Either it is through online banking, cash, or credit.
So, the ANOVA test of hypothesis revealed that there is a difference in the mean amount of spending between the three categories of sample. We accept the hypothesis which claims that the mean is not all equal for each sample. We can justify this finding by referring to the pie chart. Based on the chart, most of the students prefer online banking as their means of payment. Perhaps they feel much safer than bringing the physical money around. However, online banking may cause addiction to online shopping, and students who are not that cautious might not even keep track of how much they have spent. Hence, this situation justifies the findings.
Next, I will present on the nominal level hypothesis test, which are population proportion, goodness of fit, and contingency table. For population proportion of one sample test, based on the survey which we had collected via Google Form, there are 25 out of 30 female students who practice saving. Hence, at the 5% significance interval, we would like to investigate whether the proportion of saving is higher than 60%. For our hypothesis, it indicates that the proportion for female students who practice saving is more than 60%. For our decision, our hypothesis is accepted. For the result, the proportion for female students who practice saving is actually more than 60%. To conclude, perhaps female students are aware of their spending of money and it leads them to practice saving. Okay, now let us look at the pie chart. This pie chart is constructed based from the questions which we asked to our respondents, which is whether they agree that financial literacy is very important. There are 30 female students who answer these questions. 93.3% of them agree with the statement, while 6.7% of them are not sure about that. For population proportion and the two sample tests, from the survey, there are 25 out of 30 female students who practice saving, while there are 23 out of 30 female students who practice saving. Therefore, at the 5% of significance interval, we would like to know whether there is a difference in the proportion of saving between female students and male students. The hypothesis mentions there is a difference in the proportion of saving between female and male students. Then, hypothesis rejected. This is because there is no difference in the proportion of saving between female and male students. It can be justified that there is no relationship between gender and saving. Based from the bar graph which is being portrayed in the slide, we can see that the majority of both female and male students practice saving. From the survey, it shows that 48 students of IIUM Gombak practice saving, and it comprises from various kuliah. So, we want to know, is there any difference in the proportion of saving from each kuliah? Under the hypothesis, it states that there are differences in the proportion of students that practice savings from each kuliah. hypothesis is accepted. For the result, there is a difference in the proportion of students that practice saving from each kuliah. To conclude, we can assume that students from Kuliah of Economy and Management Science have more awareness of their saving compared to students from another kuliah. Perhaps the Kuliah of Economy and Management Science includes money management in their subject. If we look at the bar graph, it portrays that the number of students from Kuliah of Economy and Management Science who practice saving is more than the students who do not practice saving.
We surveyed 60 students on how frequent they do online shopping. They were then classified by their gender, whether they are female students or male students. At 0.05 significance interval, is it reasonable to conclude that the frequent on performing online shopping and gender is related?
For the hypothesis, there is a relationship between gender and frequency of online shopping. For the decision, we accept the hypothesis. The result shows that there is a relationship between gender and frequency of online shopping. Therefore, based from the calculation under contingency table, it can be proven that female students do shop more than male students. Next, we can see in the bar graph of the frequency of performing online shopping, it displays that female students shop more than male students. There are 2 students from both gender who always shopping, while there are 8 female students who often shopping compared to male students, which only consists of 4 students. 16 out of 30 female students and 14 male students answer that they do shopping sometimes. 9 male students mention that they rarely shopping, while there are 4 female students do so. 1 male student never do shopping. Meanwhile, there is none of the female students do the same.
Finally, we found that financial literacy is critical to ensuring that each student can effectively manage their finances for future planning. However, their purchasing habits and chosen payment methods may have an impact. As a result, statistical information has been used for data analysis, presentation, and interpretation. According to the result of the survey, 80% of IIUM Gombak students practice saving. Unfortunately, female students have less money saved on average than male students. That could be because some female students spend the majority of their allowance on expensive skincare. Therefore, we have a suggestion to guarantee that both male and female students can effectively manage their funds and avoid overspending. We would like to encourage students to use Money Tracker app on their cell phones as one of the techniques. This software will assist them in tracking their spending and ensuring that they do not go over their monthly budget. For instance, there is one application where the students can utilize, which is Money Lover, Expense Manager, and Budget Tracker. To summarize, the students should acknowledge the necessity and proper approach of money management. We hope and wish that IIUM students would be more serious about saving, as it is significant throughout any urgent situation.